Hello and good afternoon, YouTube. Well, here's another update as I always say. So, what a 7 days I've had. Um, a week ago today, I think it was. Yes, it was. I got a couple of days off. The plan was to go down to see a friend of mine down Elan Valley Way, and so down in Wales, about 55 miles from here. And the day after, planned on going to see my mum, as always, take her out for the day. This didn't happen, as I'll go into now. So about 50 miles into the journey, the car at the front made a real high-pitched squealing sound, and I realised immediately this was a clutch problem, because the clutch went really stiff, so you could push it literally a couple of centimetres to just about get it into gear. So I put it into third or fourth, I think it was third, just to keep going, because by then I'd just got a couple of miles to go, and sat nav had taken me up some windy lanes, so that wasn't ideal, but kept going, pulled onto the junction just before where I was at my destination to visit a friend of mine, and the clutch went all together, so that pulled away from that junction. Luckily I was coasting already, went to change into another gear, into second, so pulled away again with it being really stiff, went to go into second, and the clutch just went. So the clutch pedal would just hit the floor. It would come up, but there was no compression there, nothing. So I couldn't get it into gear. So yeah, that was that. We then literally I was just outside my friend's place, and we pushed it down, and I managed to roll down to his place, and we had a look. Neither of us are mechanics, but we both knew it was a clutch, some kind of clutch issue, obviously, because the clutch wasn't working. So well, panic sort of set in. My immediate thought was, I've had enough. 2 weeks before, I'd had the exhaust fall off, if you remember that, and I paid 900 for the car itself. Then the clutch goes, I think it was over £200. So that got that done. I thought, well, at least I've got a new exhaust on there. The car's nice and quiet, driving lovely, and then this happens with the clutch. So it did a bit of phoning around, and it got picked up on, let me get this right, Bank Holiday Monday. That cost me £200 because I'm not with any breakdown recovery service. Mistake on my part really, when I come to the country, just getting the car insured, and just never thought about it at the time, and now I've paid the price for it. So £200 to get that back. These were the mechanics as well, so they've got a recovery service and their mechanics. So they said to me that they tow it back. They wouldn't get to look at it until today, actually, so Thursday next week. That's today. As it happens, they managed to start on it the day before yesterday, and I think they were nearly done. And yesterday morning, I had a phone call to say it was done. I'd understood that it was going to cost about, I think they said 770 something, whatever it was, 700 and something, 750, 770, not quite sure. So I think, oh my God, that's a lot of money, isn't it, to spend on a car that's already cost me 200, and it cost me 900 to buy it, and it's 13 years old. But anyway, no choice, couldn't afford to buy anything else. So like I say, I agreed that they carried on with it anyway, and they did it, and phoned me up yesterday to say it was done. When I got there, I hadn't thought of it, and I hadn't reckoned with the VAT. I thought this was the final bill, but when I got there, it was £915. That's a lot of money for me, minimum wage and all of that, or just above minimum wage. When I come into the country, I have to spend basically all I've got to get here and buy a car and survive a few weeks before my first payday, which I was doing quite nicely. As you know, I've made that into a mini camper, the seats out the back and everything, air mattress, carpet given me by a good friend at work. Luckily so I was off the road for a week, and luckily I've got good friends at work, and I work for a nice place, and I was able to, they get a room free there, so I work in a care home setting, and I was allowed to stay there. Well, I had to stay there because there's no way I've got to work for those 5 days. So I worked 5 days on the trot, so a bit tired of that, but at least I was working anyway, and I managed to pick up an extra half a day when I would have had a day off with nothing to do. So they were short staffed, so that was a bit of a bonus as well. So I picked up another half day to help pay for this, and luckily I've got a very good friend, and that I asked if I could lend some money, and straight, well, he'd offered, and I thought about it, and I had to accept, really. I tried to come back into the country. I've borrowed money before when I come back into the country because it's always very tight, but I'd organised it so well this time with buying a car and the flight and everything, and I came back into the country. I can't remember the exact amount now, but say 1,800 I think it was, which is better than what I normally manage. So the car cost me 900, that left me 900, and you know, with paying for the campsite here, which is, you know, £8 a day, so that mounts up. But basically I then worked a couple of weeks, and because I worked the last 2 weeks of April, so the start of May I got paid, which gave me one hell of a boost, which I didn't have last year because I had to work a whole month without getting any work. No, I had to work a whole month without anything, so no money coming in. But this year I've managed to plan it different, straight back to work when I came into the country, so that was good. Now my money's gone. Simply gone. So everything I managed to save has gone. So I will recover financially, but it does basically mean I've got to stay in the country for a month longer probably than I planned. I normally go middle to the end of October, closer to the end of October. It'll now be end of November, weather permitting. But in saying that, weather permitting, I also have to book my ticket early enough that I get a cheaper price, so I won't be waiting till October or November to book it. I'll probably book it in August or September as soon as I've got enough cash. Yeah, so I've now got my car back, so there it is, and I'm back on the campsite, which is nice. So it's very good, and I really appreciate being able to stay at work while all this was going on. But it is nice to be back home for me for 6 months of the year on the campsite here. People do ask me, because I'm 22 miles I think it is from work, people do ask me why I don't move closer, another campsite closer to where I work now. But I've been here now, this is my 4th year now, my 4th season of camping. I've got so used to it. I know the people, they're very good to me. I leave the car here when I leave the country. That's another story I'll get into later, because I probably won't be doing that this year. But it needs to go into storage somewhere. But I will always be coming back here as long as I'm doing this to and froing, which is basically another 4.5 years. So when I go in November, so I got 4 more seasons of doing this. Yet again, I'm ranting on and just going off onto different topics, but it was supposed to be just about my car. So yeah, it was one hell of a week. Luckily I worked a lot, so I managed to sort of just keep concentrating on the work really, and not all the crap that was going on around me with that. So yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know. I've got my car back. I was a week without it. That's a long time to go without a car, especially in my situation here. But I'm happy to be back on the road. The cars, I'm not going to say too much about the car, because it's always, I remember my dad years and years ago saying, every time when I first started driving and I would praise my car, he said, don't do that. Don't ever praise your own car. As much of the issues I had with my dad, he was right about that, because every time I've done that in the past, something will go wrong or crash. My first car, I think it was on the road, a little Honda Civic. I put that through, I was always praising my car, I put that through the hedge in the snow to where I used to live. So the prop shaft, drive shaft is it? Or the drive shaft. Anyway, prop shaft, drive shaft, whatever, popped out, and I had to keep popping that back in as long as I had it. And I had another crash with an Austin Allegro, basically going around a corner in the middle of the night on my way home, and the tree fell down on the car. Missed my head by that, so I was lucky with that. But you know, and I just probably a day or two before, I was saying, oh, this car's going really nice, and I hadn't had it that long and everything. And so yeah, I tend not to praise my cars if I can help it. let's just say I'm happy at the moment with having my car back. And I don't want to be waiting for the next problem, but it is 13 years old, you know. So yeah, that's it for now. Yeah, not much to say about it really now. I'm happy to be back here. I've got a couple of days off, which is good, sort of clearing my head, just relaxing outside the tent. Just made myself a lovely meal. So yeah, that's another thing. I've had problems with my health, so I haven't been really poorly, but I haven't felt well, and they did my blood sugars at work, and it was 17, which is dangerously high. It's ridiculously high. That's 2 weeks ago now. So since then, I've bought my own sugar blood glucose monitor, where you prick the finger, put the gadget on, put that then onto the gadget and tells you your blood sugar level. So I've got that under control, more or less, although it was 11 this morning, that's still a bit high. And a couple of days ago it went down to 4.1, so I probably do need to go to a doctor's, but I'm eating now so healthy. Literally salads, and today I've had chicken breast with mushrooms and onions I've made myself in low-fat oil, just a few, so like a spray one, so really healthy eating. I've stopped the beer, so I was drinking a lot of beer, way too much, at 4 cans a day. I've just stopped it, so I don't do that now. I'm treating myself once a month probably to that, and some beer, and hopefully I can continue that when I get back home to my wife in the Philippines. I'm sure I can. My aim is to lose all told before I go back about 4 stone. I'm weighing myself once a week, so I know what I weigh at the moment, and I started weighing myself last Sunday again at work, and so I'm going to keep an eye on that every week. I won't tell you what I weigh at the moment because it's embarrassing. Just over 20 stone. So yeah, so I'm getting that under control. So basically, which means I want to get down to about 16 and a half stone, which is great. A few years ago I weighed 17 stone, a fraction under, and I felt so good and so healthy and so fit. So 17 stone still sounds like a hell of a lot, but I'm a big bloke. Above average height, so 6'2", so not massive, but you know, I'm just a big built man, if you like. So yeah, so that makes me look better as well. I think I've been a lot lighter that before now when I've done diets and that, down to 13 stone or whatever, when everybody said I looked like a little boy. I don't think nowadays, that's a few years ago, so I don't think that'll be the case now. I don't think I'll look like a little boy ever again. But that was when I was living in Germany. I got really fit, cycling and everything, and yeah. So anyway, once again I'm rambling on, so apologise for that. So everybody take care, just let you know I'm back on the road, I'm happy, bye for now.